We are live. We are live. We are live. Well, we did it, Latha. Looks like this was a part of the whole program.
Yes, yes. Interference is coming in, and then we tuning into that. Yes. Exactly what we wanted to explore today.
Exactly.
So just showing up here live feels like a big win today. Yes. So I think so is our everyday life. Sometimes we want to be our best. We want to uh, be prepared the best way. But when that particular moment dawns in, we just feel like, okay, I can show up myself. And that itself is like a big thing because we are overwhelmed with the emotions at that moment. We are overwhelmed with a lot of bombarding noises that happens inside us at that moment. So no matter how prepared we are, no matter how equipped we feel, but that moment always catches us off guard. So I think that is what interferences are to me. Um, so this is just great to figure this out and then talk about interferences as such. Now, to talk more on these interferences and your journey with a lot of leaders through this, what do you want to start with, Deepa?
So, in my work with leaders, in coaching, in facilitation, I have found that this performance equation very handy. One is that when I share about this equation, leaders love it because it's an equation. There is a fascination towards equations.
Yeah,
That's something that I've seen. So that's one. And second is that uh, it's fascinating how this equation explores layers. And that's another thing that it allows to explore. It allows to explore the interferences at the surface level, and it allows interference to be explored at the depth. And I think and today's live was all about exploring this performance equation and and seeing how one can take back things and its application in one's life.
And when you started, you said there is a thing for equation for everybody. Yes, because it gives a solid feeling. This is what it is. It just tells that there's nothing more. You just have to figure out this plus this, and then your performance is sorted. It just gives me a very solid feeling that it is just itna hi hai. Only that we have to do.
Yes.
Nothing more. So that is like very nice. And then now to talk more on, say the multiple hats that you've been wearing. You're a PCC coach, you're a psychologist, you are trained in multiple modalities of therapy and coaching and uh, practices. And art forms. So it's like a myriad of roles and hats that you wear. And then with all of this put together and the experience of working with people put together, you're the architect, I would say, of this Purnatva journey that you've created. So while guiding lots of people through this journey, especially on these interferences that come in uh, whenever we want to perform our best. So there are, when you said multiple layers, do you want us to shine more light on what is your experience has been from this Purnatva journey? What all kinds of interferences that people have, if I may put it like a kind, or what all ways interferences can come in the way for people? Would you want to shed more light on that?
Yeah, sure, sure. So let's first look at the equation. It says performance equal to potential minus interference. So performance is not just at work, but performance is your, whatever you define as success, you are able to bring that out to light, and you're able to visibly see it. Now, your potential is your capacity or your highest capability to convert what's inside to what's visible. So the question that many leaders come to me when they are into coaching, or even in facilitation, and some of them say, "I have so much potential. Why is it that I'm not able to convert that potential into performance?" So if the leader is able to recognize the potential, and the leader is able to feel the frustration of not being able to convert it to performance, there is a block. It's like a pipe, and the pipe needs to bring out the water necessary to water the plants. But if there's a block, it is not going to bring that water out, or the force is going to reduce.
Mhm.
So the question is, what reduces the force? And that's when interferences come into play. Now, there are two kinds of interferences. The interferences is from the outside, and the interferences from the inside. Outside interferences today we experienced, there's this technical glitch,
Mm.
and it was very, very difficult for us to figure, but we still stayed with it. So the potential was to go live,
Mm.
and the performances actual go live.
Mm. Mm.
So from intention to the actual go live of action,
Mm.
there was an external interference.
Mm. Mm.
But most often, and even if you read Tim Gallwey's um, exploration and thoughts, most often the interferences are internal. And internal could be at the level of the body, um, or the vitality. I don't have energy to perform an action.
Mm. Mm.
I'm physically tired, or I have an illness which I have brushed under the carpet, or it can be in the form of emotions. What are the form of emotions? It could be anger, it could be frustration, it could be overjoy, sometimes even over excitement could be an interferences. So it's not that only positive emotions or only negative emotions bring your potential down. Even positivity, anything that is in the extreme and not balanced,
Mm.
brings the emotions down, off balance. Then there are thoughts. There are two kinds of thoughts: expansive thoughts and limiting thoughts. Now, when there are limiting thoughts, I am in the limiting cycle, I'm actually shrinking. And there is always an associated emotion, which is fear or frustration or anger or confusion, or unclarity associated with it. And that brings the energy down, and that brings the interferences. And one of the interferences also that I've seen is mindless action. I'm performing actions, I'm tiring myself, but at the end of the day, if I ask the leader, why did you do what you did? There is no purpose behind it. There is no reason why you've done it. So even mindless action can be an interferences. So at the level of thoughts, at the level of emotions, at the level of body and physical energy and vitality, and at the level of not acting based on a purpose. These are the interferences. And unfortunately, all these interferences are not even paid attention to unless there is an absolute roadblock. Because until there is a roadblock, because these are all below the iceberg, until there is a roadblock, my work is happening. I don't need to pay attention to it. And that causes the interferences. Because it also brings focus away from what I'm supposed to do. And if my focus reduces, obviously my performance will reduce, and it will hit my potential to convert it into performance.
Even if I begin to see that something is coming in the way, I might always think that it is just this one day. It is just this one time. It is just this
Yes.
one moment that I wasn't at my best self. So I might always want to find such nice excuses to hide from, but then not address what actually caused me
Yes.
to go
Yes.
off track or.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like the cut, if you have a cut and there's blood flowing, then you will nurse it. But the energetic ones, the emotions, the incessant thinking.
Mm.
For example, let's look at overthinking, let's look at overthinking. So many leaders are experiencing this. Just now, I returned from from a workshop where I was facilitating with senior leaders. And one of the important things that they talked about was overthinking. Now, overthinking means where I'm supposed to think, I don't have bandwidth to think. Where I'm not supposed to think, I'm investing a lot of energy. It is not like a cut which can be seen, it is invisible. And I don't even know that I'm overthinking. So then what happens? I've lost energy. That potential, which was supposed to be converted to performance, I'm not able to do it. So it's very, very subtle. It's a very nuanced way of looking at your energy. And what is energy? If I were to look at energy, is the capacity that you have to convert your potential to performance. And your emotions, your physical energy, your thoughts energy, all of it is energy. So it's the same energy that you have to put your focus into converting potential to performance. And if that energy is not available, if that energy is stuck,
Mm.
where is the conversion?
Mm.
So
So
my
that's getting
invitation
drained
to all
somewhere
leaders
else.
would be, to not just focus on success, outcomes. I have to do more. Uh,
Mm.
it will happen, but also look at the other variables that you can control, and automatically your performance will increase.
And what struck me was when you said we are not even aware that
Yeah.
we are in that loop. That is one. And another thing that struck me very strongly from what you said so far is sometimes mindless actions. Sometimes I think that I'm too busy to doing too many things the whole day, but then it was not towards the purpose, or it is not anywhere closer to the ideal purpose, but then the energy shed somewhere else. But then I'm having this false feeling that I was busy the whole day. I was really toiling. I was trying my best. I did so many things the whole day. But then I might end up feeling that this is not towards the purpose I wanted. And end of the day, it still feels like I'm not feeling great about the day. I'm still feeling very lost about the day. Even after having worked the whole day, having like toiling physically, mentally, pushing so many things, ticking off so many lists from my notebook. But still I'm feeling very drained and
That's correct.
Mm.
That's correct. One of the aspects, as I hear you say, is also about boundaries. Yeah. So, unfortunately, when we grew up, a lot of us were told not to say no, agree, adapt, adjust, say yes to things. So, as we grew up, and even in our leadership, we continued that. Now, when we say yes to others or everything else, you're also saying no to certain things that are important to you, including replenishing your energy. And the amount of time you invest in work or doing any activity, you also need to invest time in rest, because activity and rest balances the polarity. And then you have the energy left uh, to give to the next activity, which is of purpose or of attention to you. So when you don't set boundaries, and when boundaries are either rigid, where you say no to everything, or when boundaries are yes to everything. Both kinds are an issue. And when you have appropriate boundaries set, you know what you're saying yes to, you know why you're saying yes to, you know why you're saying no to. There is a peace behind every decision that you take on setting boundaries. And that also converts your potential to performance.
There's so much to know about this. And the more we know about this, it's more like shining a torch on myself and then holding it towards me and then understanding more about me or discovering more sides or aspects of me that I didn't know, or I thought it's all sorted, but then they're not actually. So
Yes.
that's like a very hard hitting feeling when
Yes.
I'm knowing that all these years I've done X, I've done Y, I've done Z. So which means these things are all sorted for me. But then all of a sudden, I'm in a role, I'm in a position, I'm in a situation, in a moment. And then I'm like beginning to feel that, oh, it's not all that. There is still so much more for you to feel sorted. There are a lot of interferences that need to be tuned. And then that, especially, I think I resonate with a lot of my peers and friends who are 35 plus, 40 plus, who are experiencing this second wave of, oh my God, I'm beginning to sort myself
Yeah.
again, just
Yes.
like how I did when I was in my 20s. And
Yes.
then that feels so scary for so many people.
Yes. Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
scary.
Yes. Yes. In fact, 35 plus is a very crucial age.
Mm,
So I'm a practitioner of biography work, and it is by Dr. Rudolf Steiner and his counterparts at that time, and they have drawn a map of human evolution
mm, mm.
from a psycho-spiritual lens. Psychology also draws this lens, but it's limited to psychology. When Rudolf Steiner talks about anything, he talks about the presence of karma, the presence of the planets, the influence of the planets, and the zodiac, and all of that. So it's very holistic. And there he talks about at 37 and a half, a human being experiences something called a moon node. And during that time, it's like a portal to really understand what is your purpose of life, which you may have forgotten because till then you have been working and you have been serving and you've been taking care of your needs and your family needs. But at around that time is when you feel that, okay, I have whatever I have, I will
Mm,
continue to do this, but if I just continue to do it at this pace and in this manner, I don't think it will bring me fulfillment. There is something more that's needed. So it is scary because it is actually a transition. And in any transition, you have to let go the current ground. You have to jump to the new ground, but the current ground has not fully gone. The
yeah,
new
yeah,
ground has not fully come,
correct.
and there is one foot in air.
Mm, mm,
So it is a very scary time, and it is a very scary space. But there is a method to the madness, and with different tools and methodologies, people meet those who hold space for them and
mm,
are able to figure out. And that is an interference. The moment you know the purpose of your life,
mm,
your
mm.
interference is reduced because it brings a lot of peace
Yeah.
and it brings a lot of clarity onto the direction that you need to choose.
Mm,
And this also repeats. At first, this moon node happens at around 18 and a half, when you would have had to take a decision on your vocation with subject to choose, etc. And then around 37 and a half, and then around 54, 55.
wow. Mm,
And then it comes around, 74, 75.
mm, mm,
And
mm,
and these days people live that long. So but the nature of each of these times and the crisis moments are very different.
mm,
And it needs different kind of resolution. Plus minus 1 or 2 years,
mm.
would be, these are ballpark ages.
Wow.
But it is a very integral part of a human journey.
So, so much more to come for me when I'm 57 and then again in my 70s. Wow.
Yes, absolutely. No, when somebody is very conscious, like I have clients who come to me for one-on-one coaching, and when I offer this perspective during the chemistry call, that's when they're able to connect. Okay, so their inner turmoil is coming from a larger human development journey and not just themselves, so it just opens up their perspective to a phenomena that is happening, which is much beyond them. If you're born as a human, there is a process, and it's aligning with the process. In fact, Rudolf Steiner has given this kind of a process for child development as well, right from the time you are born. So when parents go through this consciously, then they know at 9, when a child is 9, what happens. And then the child, and because I'm a parent of Waldorf, so when my child used to throw tantrums, I understood it is not a tantrum, it is their growing up journey, and it's very essential for them. So I was able to, as a parent, go consciously. So it is it's a process of conscious development, and for each one, and as a parent also. And it's very interesting, and I mean, it's joyous for me to put these pieces together and help human beings to look at their perspective from a very larger lens than just being stuck with, okay, this is my current problem, I need a resolution. Much more than problems to be solved. That's what I feel.
Wow. Like not just as a parent, but also like, for example, for my peer teammates, as a manager or as a leader that I want to grow into, there are so many avatars of us, no? Where we feel there is this instant fix we want, but there is also so much more that are at play from within us, from within everybody that are playing around. There is so much. I can see in our chat we have 𝐏𝐞𝐫𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐦𝐚 with us,
Okay.
who's been sharing a lot on how this can be a plus as well.
Yeah.
For example, he's saying, if we can, I think it reminds me one of your LinkedIn posts that talks about how we can change these interfering energy into power. I
Yes.
think he's talking about that. I think he's
Yes.
talking
Yes.
about it's not a minus for me, it's a plus.
Yes.
So I think
Absolutely.
he's somewhere got the idea of how to tune his interferences in a certain
Yes.
way,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I think that's where he's talking about.
Yes.
And when
Yes.
you said,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and when you said certain practices that will help us, one thing that came into my mind was our Purnatva program journey that I had with you. And then I'm this queen of flow. I'll always be like, come, anything, bring it on the flow I can do. That's what. But somewhere being too much on the flow, you need a structure also on
Yes.
which you can flow. So
Yeah.
that container was something that was missing in me.
Yeah.
And till about, I would say, a year ago or something. And then I remember such making such depictions of what it meant for me to have a flow between structure and then
Yes.
flowing.
Yes.
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 So that dichotomy. So I remember learning that from one of our sessions during the Purnatva leadership journey. And then I keep this as my reminder most of the days. There are certain reminders like this that I've, like a tiny, I would say, quick hack kind of a thing that I have for the start of my day that I've learned from your Purnatva journey.
Yeah.
So this is one of them like that. So when
Yeah.
you said certain practices, I felt maybe some things like this. It's not like I remember to see this every day,
Yeah.
but there are days I see this and it does make a difference. There are days I miss to see this
Yeah.
because the rhythms are off for that day and I don't see it, which means I feel very off that day when things are not happening at a structure or when there are too much at a flow.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when the balance goes off. So it reminds me of such small practices that we can install.
Yes.
Maybe in very teeny tiny ways, we find some way to tuning those extreme rhythms that you said. For example, it could be body, mind, emotion, thoughts, mindless action. It can be any of these things that you had mentioned.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Mr. Gunendra Kumar Mishra for that. And
Deepa.
we had Jayashree Benkal also.
Before we go to Jayashree, I just had a thought on what
Yeah.
you shared,
Mm,
Latha.
mm, mm,
See, I have seen that energies come in two folds.
mm,
We
mm,
call one is the catabolic energy and the anabolic energy.
mm, mm,
The catabolic energy is the energy which brings you down, which is the fear, which is the confusion, which is all the shadows that we have not dealt with,
mm,
everything we put under the carpet, etc.
mm,
The
mm,
anabolic energy is a building up energy, all your
mm, mm,
aspiration, your vision, all that uplifts you, that lifts you. So what he also is saying is that on a regular basis, and what you also said is on a regular basis, how can I shift if I'm able to be aware that
yeah.
I'm in the shrinking energy, I am in the catabolic energy, how can I shift to anabolic
Mm,
so
mm,
that I'm able to meet the day
mm, mm,
and perform my leadership actions
yeah.
with vision, with inspiration, and with clarity, because that's when it leaves me fulfilled.
Correct. Yeah. And that's not easy at all
Yes,
because it happens like throughout the day.
yes,
Throughout the
absolutely.
day, you experience a high and a low alignment, misalignment. You feel so many things throughout the day.
Yes.
So we do not know what throws us off track or what brings us in all of a sudden. So how do you think this awareness is possible? Is it humanly possible to be that all the time?
Hmm. So one of the thing that I always feel and I've realized for myself, when there is a breakdown, um, we forget to practice or install practices. And therefore, practices have to be engaged in on a daily basis, which is habits. Habitually, if we have practices that take care of our energy, then when there is a breakdown, we are able to withdraw. It's like a bank. We are able to withdraw that energy from the bank because we have saved it and use it to meet this situation.
Mm,
Just like what you and I met today.
mm, mm, mm,
There was a smooth flow that could have been possible at 11 a.m.
mm,
and we struggled till for about 35 minutes. Okay, and yet because we had our personal practices, we held the aspiration, yes, we want to go live. We are figuring out, we will try everything. Either we go live now or we go live at another point of time, and we honor those people
mm,
who have
mm,
really taken out the time on a Sunday waiting for our session, because people have been messaging me on LinkedIn or on personal message.
mm, mm,
So, because we've had our personal practices, we've been able to bank on them and meet the situation. So, habits are an answer to bring that shift on a daily basis. If we experience 10 events, maybe those habits will not be able to meet all the 10.
mm,
And when I reflect at the end of the day, I would know, okay, maybe there is a new practice I need to install. So my habits will become richer. So, and one thing that I would say as a leader is skills take you that far. But as you go upper, higher in your rung, and climb the corporate ladder, or even, be a leader at home, what takes you higher is not just the skills, but the energy that you manage. How can you deal with this situation in a much calmer and composed manner? It means you have saved your energy. If you have saved your energy, it's available for you to perform your leadership actions. So you lead with energy, you layer it with skills, is the mantra. So that at whichever level you are in your leadership, of course, at the bottommost layer where you are an individual contributor, you need skills. Yes, you
mm,
practice those skills.
mm, mm,
But as you go up, you actually practice energy mastery. And which modality you use to practice that is left to you. But please engage in daily reflection, which is very, very important, because that will give you where are you going off, Which energy are you stepping into every day? And what do you need to contain yourself and manage that energy? Because energy can be a very airy-fairy term. It sounds very esoteric. But when you are not able to achieve your leadership action and you break it down, not always it is because of lack of skills. It could be because you lost your temper. It could be because you got frustrated. It could be because you gave up too soon. And these are elements of energy. And these are elements, that Tim Gallwey also talks about. So how can you stay at your optimum level of energy is by installing practices and rhythms.
That reminds me of our conversations during the retreat or during one-on-one conversations about the rhythms that I can install. And various times, I think I required different kinds of rhythms.
Yeah.
Because I cannot be a superwoman having 10 things focused at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's very vital to pick one or two that are required at that stage of my life and then follow that at least for the next 5-6 months. And then again, have a reflection on where is it leading me to, where did I want it to go, where am I right now, and what fine tuning is required even in my rhythms. I think that remains the habit tracker that I've put up. There are some posters that are there. So these things always give me that feeling. I'm surrounded by systems and practices that make me feel very ease with the rhythms that I want to go with. Whereas it's not giving me a feeling that it's a very rigid practice or is it something that I should force myself into. But if I can surround my environment in a certain way, I think thanks to you, now I'm beginning to realize these things are not just some nice posters I've put up, but these things are small things that are helping me every day install certain practices.
Yes. In fact, vision board, a lot of them do that, and that is one such practice. To getting that energy from the vision board. I mean, I have mine here.
I've seen some of my colleagues, they have their mood boards in the
Yes.
wallpaper of their laptop or in their phone.
Yes.
That helps them. Great. And when you say journal, like even right now next to me, a lot of journaling. And then I have a lot of notes that I've written during our retreats and Purnatva journey, because those insights that come, I think, about us, even during this conversation, there are so many insights that are coming to me about myself, which I need to note it down, sit with it, and then see what I want to do with it next. And if I want to know more about it, maybe I can DM you or connect with you. How do I do that? For example, if I'm not currently into any cohort with you, how do I connect with you? Do I DM you?
Yeah. You
Everybody?
can reach out to me.
Yeah.
Anybody can DM me, email me. I mean, I'm available on LinkedIn. I post frequently. The other way is I run 21-day journeys every month.
Oh,
This month,
yes. They are
this
the
month is
favorite.
about 21 day of skill development.
Mm.
So every month I run a 21-day journey and it's absolutely free of cost. The whole idea is to uplift human consciousness. That is my purpose. I am born to enable people, leaders, entrepreneurs, coaches, therapists to uplift their consciousness, to be able to help them convert their potential to performance. Because I know how it feels when you have that potential and you are not able to convert. And it's a very knowing feeling, you feel stuck. That feeling
Very
of
constricting
stuckness,
from within.
it's very restricting that, and you can't figure out why. And I always say answers lie in the biography, in your own biography. So you can reach out to me. People can reach out to me through any medium, or even become a part of cohort. I run masterclasses every month, a masterclass. So you can be a part of that. And the core theme that I do talk about is mastering your inner energy, which is your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, your vitality, your purpose, and your habits. This is my core.
And I really love that line that you said, lead with your energy, but then layer it with skills.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to write that here in that space.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. See, because I feel sustainable leadership
Mm.
is conscious leadership.
Mm.
If one is not conscious, my newsletter also is about the conscious leader.
Mm.
Every month, on the 11th,
Mm.
the newsletter goes, and we pick one theme, and we go deeper from an energy perspective, from the inside out perspective.
Mm. Mm.
So and now I've realized that even when I facilitate sessions for senior leaders, like I'm running a series of workshops for senior leaders of a banking organization. We're doing stakeholder management, we're doing negotiation, we're doing conflict management. These are all skills. But and they are SVPs, VPs, and assistant VPs. So of a particular team. Now I cannot teach them skills because they know their skills. But what is needed, is time management from an energy management perspective. You and I would have attended so many of those time management sessions, but stakeholder management and identifying who are my key stakeholders and managing them well is an approach to time management. If I know whom to spend time with and whom not to spend time with, and why do I need to spend time with them? And look at it from the energy perspective. What are their needs? What is that stakeholder's persona? What is their motivation? What is their fear that if I identify and speak into, I'm influencing them that way. So influencing at a much deeper level is what I am facilitating as modules now for people, for senior leaders. So I think every aspect of my life is now coming from the inside out perspective. And I wish 15 years ago somebody had taught me to look at it this way. I think I would have been much more effective, much more efficient, and I would have been able to convert my potential to performance much, much faster. Today I feel successful, and the definition of success is very different. But for me, success today has to be holistic and without hustle. I was a part of the hustle culture, and I used to take pride in being a part of that. But it doesn't work for me now. And also being clear, and I know some people thrive in that hustle. Okay, and they just need to manage their energy from that thriving. Whatever you thrive in, whatever feels like your purpose, that's the right path for you.
And like as Dr. Jayashree Venkal says, we enjoy when we overcome the obstacle. And the challenge actually triggers the adrenaline to do the best. That's what she's saying. So it resonates with what you're also saying, because managing my inside out stuff, I think, gets me to perform better on the outside. And to top all the performance aspects and the success aspects, I think it helps me to connect better, be it with my peers, be it my upper, be it my the new entrants in the team, be it my stakeholders, be it whoever it is. I think I'm able to connect more authentically if I'm working from the inside and then truly connecting from the outside, rather than trying to have a mask that, though I'm turbulent on the inside, I was doing that for some years. I had a mask outside that everything is cool and calm on the outside. It did bring a temporary sort of a fix with few people who did say that you appear calm, you appear cool. But then people who were aware themselves were able to see beyond that and were able to point out that this mask isn't helping people to authentically connect with you. They feel nice in the conversation, but they're not going to connect with you. So without it, nothing will move. Business won't move. Deeper connections won't move. Our ideologies won't match. The reason why or the purpose why we two are sitting together to break our heads together for a problem, we won't be in sync with each other. So
Yeah.
none of those things will actually work. So on a long term, none of them would prefer to work with me if I'm going to be that. So that was something I realized a few years ago, and then it's a continuous work in progress since then. So this conversation has been great reinforcement for me that way. That the continuous work that we do from inside on various things that come in the way. It could be one thing today, it can be another thing tomorrow, and it can be another thing the day after, and it can be starting all over again after a few years. But then it's a continuous work that we're ready to put in, which means we take ourselves seriously, which means we want to use the full potential that we have and we're ready to put in the work rather than sitting and lamenting that I am doing so much, but I'm not seeing anything and blame it on the outside. I think that's the difference, the both.
Absolutely. And this really needs that desire. You need to want that, you need to desire to convert and live your full potential, and not just as a lip service, paying lip service, but in actuality. And which means that you're going to be ready, you have to be ready to face larger breakdowns because the stakes are much higher. Yeah, and just like in business, if you want to achieve more, you have to take more risks. Here also it is the same. And it is akin to being successful in business. And when you really put in this work, it is a lot of hard work. It's a never-ending thing because our thoughts and our emotions always keep changing.
Yes.
And therefore they come in layers. So if you have the time, the inclination, the desire, I would say you'll create time. Not you never have the time, we create time.
Yes.
And wanting, and the other thing is that for me, one of the thing that drives me is to do this inner work so that I'm able to live my purpose, because in my purpose lies everybody else's purpose. So a lot more are included than I myself. It's not just me earning money for myself when I achieve my purpose. When I achieve my purpose, I earn money, I am successful. However, there are so many other people who are part of that purpose.
Yes.
So for me, that's really yummy. And that is part of the inner game for me. So that drives me to manage my thoughts, my emotions, and all of it. Like, for example, today, I don't know, in my mind, I was very clear we will go live. I didn't have a thought or doubt. I didn't have fear also. Although generally I'm fearful of technology, but yeah, if there was a breakdown, it's fine. We will go live. So I'm sure that even if one person resonate with one thought from what we are speaking today,
Yes.
I have met my purpose. So every moment that I am doing and every moment that you are living is part of purpose. I think articulating and getting anchored on your purpose is the key. And you kept talking about Purnatva. Yes, Purnatva is it's my pet project. It's my life. It's the sacred container that I offer. It is a program, but not so much a program. It is a laboratory.
Yes.
It's a lab.
I would agree completely.
Where you can become conscious. You will be able to identify what to become conscious about. What does being conscious mean? How to become conscious of body, how to become conscious of thoughts and emotions, and how to become conscious of my purpose. And we start with the exploration of knowing your purpose and knowing your values and knowing the key of you, which is your core self. And then we look at breakdowns, look at the thoughts and emotions, look at your decision making capacity and everything, every layer of your existence. So yeah, it's an invitation for you to learn about yourself from that cohort if you wish to join. And if not that, explore and engage in yourself, using the laboratory of life. That's okay too. Because it is extremely essential that you give attention and time to yourself.
Yeah. If not we, who can actually
Who else?
hold us with such high importance and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Only I to myself. And
Mm.
that is not selfish and egoistic.
Mm. Mm. That's very essential
Yeah. It's
because
the
we,
highest, it's the epitome of self-love.
yeah. And with that only we can go and uh, be ourselves much more authentically outside,
Yes.
connect much better, do our
Yes.
work much better, do what we want to do in a much better way.
Absolutely.
And then end of the day, feel very good about it.
Yes. Fulfilled.
Great. This has been a great
Lovely.
conversation, Deepa.
Absolutely.
I do hope, just like how I've been journeying with you for a few years now, I do really hope that people have this gift of journeying with oneself, one's inner self, with a solid guidance where they know when to take hold of that hand and then walk along.
Yeah.
When they would know when to, I am ready to work on myself, on because I'm equipped with resources now. So I think that journey, time and again, I would wish it for a lot of people here in the live and who are going to listen to it later also, because that's a pure joy in working just with our own selves and working on our own selves and seeing something much more brighter and lighter coming out of ourselves. I think that's a beautiful thing to experience, and I wish that for everybody who've been here, uh, journeying with you, and then journeying within themselves also. Yes. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much for this time, Deepa, and thank you for agreeing for this conversation. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you all, and wishing everyone all the best.
Yes.